And now comes the last fun part of this course. We get to see what other people have been thinking about when they think about using Desmos in their teaching. So I've thought about this a couple different ways, and I actually spent a lot of time making up a survey for each of you, and then I changed my mind. So that was not world's most intelligent use of time. But anyway, what I've done now is posted all of your videos on the discussion board. So what I want you to do is go to our website here. Oops, that's YouTube. Okay, I want you to go to the discussions board here, and then you're going to go to Final Project Reviews, and you'll see all of the contents here, and you can pick any one that you seem that you might find interesting. Might be interesting to, for example, if you did domain and range, there's about 4 of them that look at domain and range. So look at each of them and compare and contrast and get some ideas for what you want to write down for the comments. In terms of the comments, I want you to, first of all, search for your own video and make sure it's there. People have been handing them in at slightly different times, and if it's not there, just send me an email and I'll quick post it. I want you to comment on at least 3 other videos, and in each of your comments, first make one positive comment. And it's important that you don't just say, hey, that's great, or that's really interesting. I want you to be as specific and precise as you can. So for example, you might want to say, I hadn't ever thought of math that way. I hadn't thought of using that language to describe how the parameter changes from a pointwise perspective. Or I hadn't thought of limiting the domain in that way because engaging in this activity would really help me think through that. Also remember that Desmos is about engaging students. It's not really a presentation mechanism where the teacher just lectures. So think of yourself as a student in the class and what you would learn by engaging in these particular activities. And then the second thing I want you to do is make a constructive comment. Ask for further elaboration. You might want to say, gee, you could make this a little bit more precise, or maybe you want to add a different activity like a card sort, or something where you're thinking constructively from a student's point of view, just like you did when we were critiquing the other activities. I'd like you to recall the criteria I set up for this project. And the first thing was to use the design characteristics that we talked about in earlier videos. So one of those is to incorporate a variety of verbs and nouns. So ask students to do different things. It might say, examine in one and explain your thinking. In another one, it might say, make a hypothesis. So if they're, for example, if you're critiquing one and there really aren't a lot of different activities, suggest a different activity for them. The second one is to give students the opportunity to be right or wrong. Think of open-ended questions. So for example, if you're doing slope of a line, there's infinite number of lines that could have the same given slope. Or maybe change the question to make a slope of a line that has, that's greater than 2 and less than 3 or something like that. The third characteristic was to delay feedback for reflection. So is there any activities where the students can look at what happens to the graph before they get a right or wrong answer? And also, who's making the decision if it's right or wrong? It's often great to have the students be the purveyors of correctness. They can say, gee, this doesn't look right, or because the brain research has shown that when students make mistakes and catch them and correct them and think about them, the synapses in their brains actually increase. This doesn't happen if a teacher is always telling them what's right and wrong. Also, create objects that promote mathematical conversations. Are there different ways that students are examining or opening up dialogue between each other? There was one, I have to say, where each question was written in both English and Spanish. What a great way to show that, you honor all students' contributions. So things like that, I think, are really going to be useful comments. These ideas are really useful ways to anchor your comments and feedback. what I had originally thought we would do, this is what I do when I use this class in person, is we ask these questions and we grade each other's, not grade, but, give comments on each other's presentations. But I don't think it's going to work in this particular setting. So we ask, did the presenter make a clear description of the mathematics? How difficult are the questions? If they're all low level, then students aren't really going to be able to learn. You want to make them mathematically challenging and also have a variety of tasks. That's the low ceiling, high floor. No, high ceiling, low floor. Feedback and correctness. Again, this is what I was talking about earlier. Who has the locus of control and who is the arbiter of correctness? You don't want it to always be the teacher knows everything and the students are always trying to please the teacher. Language and precision. Is there an opportunity for students to justify their thinking? Does the activity look fun? Another comment that you might want to think about. And then again, make at least one suggestion for enhancement. So as I said, I changed this a little bit. So now everything is going to be done in the discussion board. I would like you to, let's say, post at least 3 comments by, let's say, Friday. So what day would that be? That would be Friday the 8th. Friday, March 8th. Okay, so post at least 3 comments by Friday, March 8th. And I look forward to your comments, and I've thoroughly enjoyed watching your videos, and I will be reading the comments and evaluating the videos and the final projects toward the end of March. Grades will definitely be up after spring break. So thanks again for a great course. I hope that you all have learned something, and this has been, quite an experiment. So thanks for bearing with me on my first online course. Bye-bye.